Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hello, friend. Welcome back to the podcast. Well, the bonjours are over. I am back in Massachusetts, happily so, reveling in the gorgeous fall fashion show that is happening at the Phineas Wright House. And although the bonjours are over, the celebration is still going on as we celebrate surpassing 50,000 downloads, thanks to you. And as a big thank you to you, we are asking for listeners to rate and review the show. Send us a screenshot of that review, and then we will send you a link for a full month in the Say Yes Sisterhood, which is our beautiful membership community, for only $1. So you're getting almost 100% off that price. And it includes weekly calls. And because of the timing of your entry into the sisterhood, it will include our November summit. So that will be free of charge for you. And I'm so excited just to get to be face-to-face virtually with you, to hear how you're saying yes to yourself in big and small ways, to hear how these conversations that we have on the podcast are impacting you positively, and what your next yes is. This is all so fun. Today, we have an amazing guest. We have Deirdre Palm Adams. She is a fashion executive, best-selling author, entrepreneur, and mentor. Deirdre Palm Adams is the fashion industry powerhouse, best-selling author, and business mentor with over 40 years of experience leading large teams at some of the world's most influential fashion and retail brands. She is also the founder of Love How Good You Feel, a movement dedicated to helping people achieve wellness, success, and mindset transformation. With a passion for empowering individuals to unlock their potential, Deirdre has built both a career and a brand rooted in authentic, heart-centered leadership, personal branding, and business growth. She believes in living a life filled with joy and gratitude. Her mission is to help others shift their mindset, embrace opportunity, and create a limitless life filled with abundance. My goodness, if that's not a giant yes, I don't know what would be. So please enjoy this gorgeous conversation with Deirdre Palm Adams, and please rate and review the show and send that over to us at podcast@phineaswrighthouse.com so we can enjoy a month together in the Say Yes Sisterhood. All the details are down in the show notes. I can't wait to see you there. Deirdre, I am so excited to have you here. I am so looking forward to this conversation. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Wendy. I'm so excited to be here as well. I have followed you for years, and I'm so honored to be a part of your podcast.
Gosh, you're so sweet. I didn't know that. I'm really delighted, and I love when you connect with someone that you never met in person, but even in our communications through DM and email and in preparation for this interview, it just already felt so fun and so connected. And I love that so much, and mention it here for our listeners who equally feel this energetic connection to us It's real. It's true. It's actually the only thing that's real and true. And it is believable and can be fostered and all of the good things.
Well, it's all about energy, right? So when you meet people, you immediately have a spark or you don't, right? So that spark can propel so many great things. And I always say my bestest friends, colleagues, business advisors, mentors, we've always had that spark of connection. So I love reading people's energy. That's one of my favorite things.
Well, you're really good at it. So thank you very much. Perfect. Well, let's just dive in to the question I'm really eager to hear your answer to. How are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
Wow. It is a new season for me.
That's my favorite beginning of anything, by the way.
In my later years of life, as I've just begun, I'm a woman who I've led teams, I've built brands, I've written books, I've helped others find their inner peace. But this season is all about alignment. I just want to have alignment, right? I don't want any pressure. I don't want to talk about perfection anymore. It's not someone else's expectations. I could care less about what other people are thinking right now. After 4 decades, I've worked 4 decades in the fashion industry. I can't believe that I'm still there because I love it. But I know what it feels like to run and chase the next title, the next result, the next win. But now, Wendy, I'm choosing purpose over pressure. Like I just want to have purpose in life. I want to have um, alignment and support for other people because when they feel good, I feel good. So I'm doing a couple fun things right now. I'm writing a new book on leadership, something I've never done before, but I felt a calling to do it. And it's about exposing toxic leadership. And I want to show a path how to be, you can be more powerful and more effective as a leader when you lead from the heart. So I want to talk a lot about heartfelt leadership, empathetic leadership, really how to gain, it's when people talk about leadership, they always talk about how do you get results? Well, you get results by making people feel included and wanted and inspired and motivated, not just do what I say because I'm your boss, right? That never works. It never works long term. But I have a wellness business that I'm so proud of. It helps people detox their bodies, their homes, their finances. Like it's all about that. And then I've created a children's book series, which I'm so proud of, that empowers kids to believe in themselves. I am actually not a mom myself. I never had children, but I've always loved children. I have so many nieces and nephews. And in fact, my niece is the illustrator for my books, and she's an
Fun.
incredible artist. Oh my gosh. She brought this book series to life in such a beautiful, colorful, animated way that I could have never done. So she's incredible, but I love my nieces and nephews. I'm surrounded by children at all times. So I wanted to continue that in my path and really help children. So everything I'm doing now is a reflection of what I'm saying yes to. It's health, it's freedom, it's creativity, it's impact, right? Impact is so important today. And I have a brand and it's called Love How Good You Feel. Because
Mm.
when you choose alignment, you start feeling good from the inside out. And working in an industry for decades that was all about how you look, I really think that how you feel really helps. If you feel good, you look good, right? If you feel good, you are good. You are healthy, you're inspired, you're energetic. Everything comes from how you feel. So that's the basics of how you look or how others perceive you. So how you feel is so important to me. So my brand is called Love How Good You Feel.
Oh, I love all of that. It's brilliant and it brings up so many questions. So this idea, concept, lifestyle, word choice of alignment is no joke. So the year that I chose aligned as my word of the year, that was 2022. And everything changed for me because I mean, my marriage changed, my trajectory, everything, because I was in a process of changing the way that I responded to my outside world. You said something earlier, when others feel good, you feel good. That was my mode of operation as well. As long as everybody in my charge, in my field of vision, people who were not actually in my charge, but I took responsibility for them on their behalf without them asking, as I'm a 2 on the Enneagram, which is the helper who often does so unsolicited. So I made the world my mission. In making the world a better place, I was setting myself on fire to make sure people were warm enough. Not a sustainable model. So as I became aware that I was doing that, because again, I thought that motivation was good. I thought it was holy. I thought that's what everyone wanted me to do because nobody was suggesting that I stop. And when I realized that I actually had agency, that I could make a different decision and that I could choose to feel good and trust that everyone else had their own choice of that as well. And some relationships got better and thrived because I focused on myself and my own alignment, and other relationships didn't. And it was, both of those people were better because of the dissolving of the relationship. So I wanted to ask you, how are you integrating alignment, and how has that shifted some of the models that you've been existing and even thriving in prior to this shift?
Well, alignment is really it's empowering and it's freedom for me in so many ways, right? So I've had a whole life of being a very good student, a very good employee, a very good child of my parents, a very good wife. In fact, I met my husband when I was 15 and we've been together ever since. So he's my childhood sweetheart, right? So I've always been very blessed with relationships because I've always been a very good student, right? But alignment, I think for me right now is how do I align with really what makes me at peace and what makes me happy? Simplicity, joy, clean living, not worrying about what other people are thinking, right? It takes a long time to figure that one out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, your whole life you live and you worry about what other people think. I truly don't worry anymore about that because as long as I'm in alignment with my core values of what I believe and what I feel good about, I know I'm on the right path. There's no question. So that and when you think about and worry about what other people think, sometimes that throws you off course and then you're not aligned with what your values are, what your goals are, what you want to achieve or what you want, how you want to feel. So all that noise, right? You have to just learn how to get a grip on all that noise and not pay attention to it. And I've done a lot of modalities like breath work and meditation and just really finding inner peace. Sometimes, of course things get to you and you feel unaligned with what's happening in your day or your bigger picture goal. But I think if you just take a moment, reflect, understand, and practice gratitude, you become aligned again with life is really just about finding joy or
Yes.
being joyful to others or being joyful to others. So, and we talked a little bit about energy when we opened up. When you meet someone and you think, gosh, they have no joy, you almost want to give them your joy, right? I want to give it. But like you said, then it kind of depletes your energy. So you have to sometimes accept that's who they are and really just protect your own joy and know that it will inspire others, but you cannot change others. You cannot spend your life trying to change other people. So I'm very blessed with the life that I have and all of that. But right now I feel alignment and joy and clean living and becoming less stressed and less worried. And that's a lot about what my kids' books are about too, because I talk about worry and bullying and fear. Right. So all of those things, put them beside you. So that's really what I just want to be aligned with my true self and happiness and joy.
Yes, I could not agree more. And I love the comment you made about taking a break, stepping back, taking a breath. What feels good right now? I recently had an experience when I was in the final stages of coming to a divorce agreement, and it was a 3-year process, which is just long. And I was in this energy of, oh my gosh, I just want to be done. I want to be done. Are we still doing this? Looking at my watch when am really looking at calendars. And there was this one point that we were going back and forth on. And for me, it was not a question of finance. It was a question of principle. And I did not want to pay for this thing that he was going to make me pay 50%. And it was a hill I was going to die on. And I told my lawyer, this is a hill I'm going to die. This is so important to me. And then it would come back and he wouldn't agree. And I said, no, this is important to me. And then was almost sending an email to her about 10 times in one day. It was like, oh, if you think I'm overreacting, if you think that this is unreasonable, if you think, and I thought, what am I doing? Why do I care what she thinks? She's not the boss of me. I'm the boss of me. So I was like stuck to my guns. And then a few days later in meditation, I was again reflecting on this and shifting. I don't want to be done. I don't want to focus on being done, because obviously that is truly the focus on how not done it is. So I was focusing on the freedom I want to feel and that I will feel, and the relief and all of those things. And then I realized, what am I doing with this hill I want to die on? I don't want to die. I don't want hills. It doesn't matter. I want to feel good. And sometimes in that desire to feel good, we have the opportunity to choose feeling good over being right. Because I was right. Like, damn it. It was right. That was a hill to die. I could have talked to 100 people and they would have all agreed that I was right and he was wrong, but I don't want to be right. I want to feel good. And
Yes.
that is more important. And that's another mind-blowing cultural shift of what feeling good actually does.
It's a release. It's such a release. And a lot of that plays into leadership skills as well, because we have the same feelings as a leader. And we say, oh my gosh, I know what I'm talking about. I know I'm right. You need to think the way I think, right? You need to do what I say to you do. And that, when you step back and you allow the situation and just be grateful that you have a collective minds out there of creativity. Like, for you to step back and say, I'm grateful for the end of the journey is near. I'm about to experience total joy. All of those little things, they won't matter big picture. They just won't matter, even though they're important to you at the moment and you know you want to fight the fight. And I respect that. And sometimes it's worthy. But if it really hurts the way you feel, is it worth it? Is the choices you have to make, is it worth it? We
It's
all have
true.
an inner need to fight. We do.
And it's not even about self-abandoning. I did not self-abandon. I actually had a higher perspective, because there are just some things that just are, that
Yeah.
I don't want them to be, and I did everything I could to have them not be this way, but here they are. So my choice is, how am I going to feel about that? Am I going to have this rule or this requirement put on me and be pissed? Or am
Mm.
I going to have this requirement put on me and be joyful and be focused on all the millions of things, literally millions of things that are going my way?
Yes. Exactly. Exactly right. Gratitude is a really fun thing to practice. And people always say, "Oh, I'll make a gratitude list every day." Do it works. Whenever, and actually that's in one of my kids' books where the character feels so stressed out and filled with anxiety, and one of the character's teacher, sit back and be grateful. And when you practice gratitude, there's no room for any anxiety. It disappears, literally. So practicing gratitude is probably the easiest and quickest way. I always say, like, choose again, like, think of a different thought. Right. So you're
Exactly.
stuck in traffic, and everything's going wrong, and you're late for a meeting, and the light isn't turning green fast enough. It's still stuck on red. If you just sit there and you say, I have an opportunity to be a part of this experience that I'm going into, it's a whole different feeling than, am I going to get there? When am I going to get there? So just all of that anxiety is just, it's really, um, I think, in a bigger picture way, a terrible way to live. And I hate to admit it, but I lived most of my life that way. I lived most of my life with anxiety and worry about the next step. Am I going to get there? Am I going to achieve it? And when I reflect on my life, I think, gosh, I wish I would have just stepped back and taking more moments like you did and just said, you know what? I'm grateful for what I have and where I am right now. It just changes everything.
Absolutely. And sometimes it can be a big leap to make a gratitude list about the thing that is pissing you off. I mean, and that's okay. Don't make the list about that. It doesn't, your gratitude is not negating any negative feelings you have about the same subject. Go to the easy subject, the easy existing match. So I can go to my barn. I've lived in this house for, gosh, since 2013.
Mhm.
And every single time I roll open this giant door to my barn and I see the beautiful lights that are strung and the table that is there and waiting for guests, I start to cry. And typically, they're the people that are coming to enjoy some dreamy, fabulous event in there are behind me, and I hear them gasp, and I turn around and go, "Oh my gosh, I know!" And my eyes are all welled up, and I can say, "I was just in here 5 minutes ago," but it's still like it delights me and such a visceral level, I can go there. I can think of my unicorn of a fabulous daughter, Amelia, and think of her at the sewing machine in her fabulous fur coat. And like she's such an icon at 11. And that's an easy existing match. So I don't have to try to spin some toxic positivity hack on a divorce settlement that's irritating me or the person on the other side that's irritating. I go to the easy place, and that lift that I have in my spirit, in my energy, in my vibration is what makes me the magnet for all the other things that are in that higher space, regardless of topic.
Yes, regardless of topic. If you can find joy more hours of the day than not, you're achieving something, right? And it can be just that, thinking of the barn, thinking of the table. I think of the beach. I think of just the sound of a seagull, just the smell of
Yes.
the salt air. Like that to me is an instant trigger of joy. Instant trigger of joy. It's just,
Right?
yeah. And you have to tell yourself, you have to teach, it's a muscle. You have to practice this muscle. And you have
Totally.
to say, because it's so easy to drown in our sorrows and to feel all the heat and weight of the world. And we all do it. But when you immediately, and I even have little reminders, I do. I have the emotional scale next to my bed where it tells you about, get yourself out of the fear, get yourself out of the worry, get up to joy. And I say sometimes to myself, come on, you can do better with your thoughts. You can do better.
Right. Just choose the better feeling thought. Right. And maybe if you can't even get all the way to joy, right? Because it can sometimes be a big leap, but you can get to
Less anxious.
exactly, exactly. And then even move to blame.
Yeah.
Blame actually
Yeah.
feels better than guilt. So then go to blame. Just don't stay there. And then, go to discouragement or frustration. And then
Yeah.
hopeful and optimism. Like you can still get to the top of the ladder, whether you go one rung at a time or you just leap from the ground all the way to the top.
But as long as you're in motion upward, then that's a good thing. Just
Right.
stuck at the bottom, right? We're stuck in one spot. Yeah. Always. I love that. Yeah, it's true. But it is a muscle. It's hard. It's not easy. But it's a constant reminder. It's kind of like making your bed, right? You have to do it every day. You just have to do it every day. It's not going to make itself. You
And
have to.
yes, you do have to do it every day. That's a rule. So I get, if that's not your rule, then God bless you. But it is my rule. And it's my rule for me. Like I don't judge other people that don't make their bed.
Yeah.
I don't have time to judge anyone else. It's a full-time job doing it to myself. So I am working my way through that as well. I was earlier this year, I almost said introduced to a book. I opened a book that I had purchased 2 years ago
Mm.
and did not read. It is called On Our Best Behavior:
Oh,
The Seven Deadly Sins and the Price Women Pay to Be Good by
oh,
Elise Lonan. Exactly. I felt like a better person just for owning the book, but I didn't want to read it because I figured it was going to make me be mad and I didn't want to be mad. Hello, that's the whole point of the book. So once I finally opened it and it completely rocked my world, I immediately started a book club for the listeners of this podcast. And we went through the book, and it is still just this unlearning, this unpacking, this rebuilding of a thought system that is not, it's not at the logic level of a 5-year-old, which is
yeah.
when that thought system was created for me. Now I'm in my mid 50s. I have some different ideas about how I would like to think and how I would like to interact with these things. And, the one of the dead, I mean, they all meant something to me, but the chapter on envy was so fascinating because it it just dismantled this thought system about how that's bad and how, sometimes even women tear down other women for being big and bold and fabulous. And
Competition. Oh my
right,
gosh.
it's lame. And what we can do instead is recognize me watching you do this great thing is showing me what's available for me too. That doesn't promote a hateful comment. It promotes a thank you note. Like, this is, if we can just see all these things that we've allowed to trigger us are really our future self calling to us. Come this way, come this way. It's been such a beautiful process and something that I'll be unpacking for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even like in all my years, I think about all, my years of leadership and all that. So many leaders think that if they make you feel bad, that you'll work harder. Like, oh, you need to improve that. You're not good at that. And I think it's so obvious that if you empower people find the smallest thing that they're doing right and exploit that, all of a sudden their confidence starts to flourish. All of a sudden they start to feel good, right? And then you get so much more productivity out of people when they feel good about where they are. I mean, it's just I don't understand. And it comes from women, a lot from women, where women like to put other women down.
It's shocking. Right. And it's also interesting. Like, do they like it? Or
A power trip. It's a power trip.
is it a trauma response
It could be, for
and
sure.
fear-based and habit? And,
Yes.
when I started this personal development journey, and being mindful of it, which was about 5 years ago, I it took me so long. I mean, still, I pause a lot. It takes a long time for me to have a conversation because so many of my words were just habitual and familiar that I would be halfway through a sentence and say, oh, actually, let me reframe that because I actually don't believe that anymore. And my mindset had outgrown my habits. So
Yes.
it's a process. And when you are in a leadership position at, in an organization or a corporation, it takes some time to turn that ship around.
Well, when you're surrounded by, so that's really why I feel compelled to write this book, because I've worked for like some top names in fashion, like some big leaders, Michael Kors, Ralph Lauren, Jones New York, and there's a lot of power players there. So immediately when you enter that arena, you feel like, oh gosh, they must know more than me. Oh gosh, they've been, you're right. So you immediately have to kind of readjust that. And then when you become a leader in those organizations, you don't want to be like the leaders above you. You want to break the mold. So I refuse to like not become part of the narcissistic style of leadership. I thought, gosh, who wants to be a part of that when they made me feel not good? Why do I want to make others feel good? So it's breaking those chains, right? So that's I was always told I was too soft, too nice. But guess what? I had the highest performing teams. Always. Why is that? Connect the dots, right? When you make people feel good, you get more out of them. So I think that's always been my superpower is I'm very empathetic. So I actually have on LinkedIn, I have a newsletter called The Empathy Edge. And I talk a lot about leadership skills are not just about, reading results and numbers and all the things. It's really about how does your team feel? Are they empowered every day? Do they feel good every day? Do they feel part of the solution? Are they contributing? Are you allowing them to contribute? Are you allowing them to speak? So many leaders don't allow people to speak. They just talk at them and they never ask them, what do you think? Right. So I'm writing this book and it's coming out hopefully next year. I'm still in the process of presenting it to a few different publishing houses, but it's a modern guide to transforming toxic leadership, which I love.
Mm,
Energy, intention, and heart. So it's a teaching memoir. It tells a lot of stories that I have that are kind of funny when I look back at them, but at the time they were scary, right? It was a scary time. But it teaches some lessons that I've learned along the way. It challenges outdated fear-based leadership models and invites readers to a new era of being self-aware, emotionally intelligent, right? How do you feel? How does everyone around you feel? How does your energy change others when you walk into the room? Do you ever sit in a meeting or sit in a place and someone walks in the room and immediately everybody's like on edge, right? They're not really feeling open anymore. They close down and they shut down. It's because of the energy from the leader. They put that out there that they're the boss and no one else has a word. So it's fun. It includes a practical playbook filled with exercises, power moves, I call it, to help readers stay grounded, resilient, and confident in the face of challenges. And it brings it all together at the end. I have the ultimate power move, which I love. It's a 10-step roadmap to help modern leaders shift away from fear-based tactics and embrace leadership through intention, emotional regulation, energy mastery, and purpose. So it's a lot of teaching modalities that aren't typically taught from HR. So
right.
things like, meditations, just even stepping back, like you said, stepping back, realizing where you're standing and what can I change in this surrounding to really affect the energy of myself and the people around me. So, I want to really help young leaders today, people who are emerging leaders, to not fall victim to this toxic leadership and energy disalignment, if that's a word, and really empower them to become true leaders that empower others and inspire greatness. So that's kind of that's my goal. That's my next path is really how do you take all the experience that I've had, and I've had some great leaders. I'm not going to say they were all tough or they were all unreasonable, but there was a lot of that in there. And I think it's today, it's funny, like the generation today, the younger generation today rejects that. They are
Right.
all about feeling good.
It's so interesting. In that book that I mentioned on our best behavior, they were talking about it's called reverse mentoring, is asking this younger generation, these people that can sometimes elicit an eye roll from us, not in our 20s and 30s, but they are actually closer to the goal we're striving for without the nonsense in between. I mean, it's exactly what I'm experiencing parenting. I have an 11-year-old and I'm 50 something. How old am I? 57. And I don't even know. Like once you start counting how old somebody else is, you just stop counting your own.
It doesn't matter.
Right. So, but in my mid 50s, I mean, that's grandma age, not mom age of this age of a child. And it's so enlightening to watch the experience of my beautiful clients. I lead culinary trips to France for solo female travelers. It's so dreamy and fabulous.
So cool. Oh my gosh, I'd have to join you.
And please do. And so many of these women are in a stage of redefining, reinventing themselves after, their kids have left the home, they're shifting out of their corporate jobs, or some of them are shifting out of their marriage, and they're just trying to figure this out. And so much of the coaching is, reflect on what you loved doing when you were a kid. What did you lose time doing? And then kind of go back to those roots. So I'm hearing that from, my clients, at the same time witnessing my young daughter in a school system that is saying, okay, that we don't have time for art anymore. Because now you need to write a report on Maryland. And she's like, Mom, I don't understand why I have to write a report on Maryland. And I say, well, it's because, she's teaching you how to research and how to communicate your findings well. And she's like, right, I get all that. But why do I have to? And I was like, oh, what? I'm a firstborn. Like, I didn't ever ask, why do I have to do anything? And I love, like, she is in such alignment. I'm learning from her.
Isn't it the truth? They challenge the norm and they set boundaries where we kind of allowed others to break those boundaries because we're like, oh, this is what I should do. I should write the report on Maryland or whatever it may be without understanding the bigger purpose. They push back a lot. And I see that with a lot of, new leaders that are emerging in the industry today is they push back more than we ever did. So as a leader, you have to understand where they're coming from, how to be empathetic about their point of view, and give them credit for standing up for themselves. Like it's a good thing as long
Mhm.
as it's done respectfully, of course. But I agree. It's a whole different perspective today. That old way, probably parenting too, the old way of parenting, the old way of leading, of do it because I said so. I'm your father. Do it because I said so, right? They don't listen to that anymore. They want more reasoning and they want to understand why. And they are all about feeling good, right? I mean, gone are the days where people join companies and stay for 40 years. They don't do that anymore because if they don't like a certain situation, they're gone to the next.
And that's not wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
It's
I
not
actually wish I would have done
wrong.
that more.
Oh my gosh. I want people to do that. I mean, this may be very, very risque. Here it comes, everybody. I want you to do that in your relationships. I want you to
Yeah.
do that in your marriage. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to tell you something. Saying yes to myself did not cost me my marriage. My marriage was costing me my yes.
Yes.
And it was I know, right? It's like, and it was costing him his yes, but he didn't have the courage to say that. He only had the impulse to say, I hate my life. I hate my job. I hate this house. I hate everything. Like, oh my gosh, my courage set both of us free. And
Yes.
anyone who thinks that I should have stayed in that marriage for Amelia, it's like, have you met us? Like, what is wrong with you? So I mean, even this concept of I met a person and He became a life coach at 17, which totally cracks me up, which of course elicited the eye roll of like, what in the world do you know at 17? And of course, you're a dude, so you think that you did, whatever. Like, I had all of the practiced responses to discount his aligned decision.
Yeah, isn't that terrible?
And yeah, it's nonsense. Like, again, I don't want to be right. I want to feel good. It doesn't feel good to dismantle his actually brilliant choice. He's closer to alignment than somebody that's all the way on the other side who lived a life that then realized it wasn't fulfilling and now wants to reinvent themselves. Like, they're just taking out the whole middle
Yeah,
and
they are.
just becoming the person. Yes.
It took me 40 years to have that posture, and he has it at 17. I mean, it's impressive when you see really the evolution of what's happening in the mindset of the younger generation of potential leaders, potential anything. Some of them say, I don't want to work in the traditional
Right.
corporate life, right? I want entrepreneurialism. Like, who even knew that word at that age?
Right. I think it's so brilliant, and to not discount it, just like we wouldn't expect, like, you can't be a life coach and you have to use a rotary phone
Right.
because, we all started without knowing anything, and you can't have access to any of the technology. You can't, I mean, that's stupid. They've evolved because of everything that happened before they got here. We've evolved. Like, when we were born,
Yeah.
our parents and, adults in the world were thinking that we had it easy, or we didn't have anything to learn that came from stress or hard work. So it's all just being open and available to let everybody have their own experience. And the only way that that feels misaligned for you is because you're not having yours.
Exactly. That's so true. That's absolutely true. And I think that that's really alignment, right? That's really what we want to I want to just I want to feel the way they feel, right? At this age, I do. I mean, I'm shedding my skin of worry and anxiety and fear and all the things that that drive you through decisions in life. When you think back, I think, gosh, really, it's just about joy. It's just about feeling good, doing what you love, spending time with people who have great energy and intention and heart, right? All those things are so great. Can I tell you about my wellness business too? I have a
Oh, would
wellness.
you please? Sure.
Yeah, so I have a wellness business that I actually stumbled on. I've always been a wellness coach, knowing that, and I learned early from my father about financial wellness. So my dad always instilled upon me to really save money, live in your means. He was an investor, so he taught me how to invest it. So I always felt really good about that. And I always worried about debt, don't have too much debt, right? Try to stay away from that. And it kind of evolved into health coaching because I've always liked to eat healthy. I'm not preaching, I'm not doing any of that, but simple little changes can make a big difference. And energy and all the things. And it's so easy today. You get sucked into all the advertising and all the poor food choices out there. They're abundant. So how do you navigate through that? But then I actually was looking for a better laundry detergent. That sounds so ridiculous. And I stumbled on a company that I've joined locked arms with, and they're the largest wellness company in North America. And I'm helping people detox their homes, which is so cool. I had no idea all these toxins that were around us and how they affect your energy, your mood, your joy. I mean, so many people say, "Oh gosh, I have such a headache today." And I think, what have you been cleaning with? I know that sounds kooky, but really, what's in your laundry detergent? The things that touch us every day. So I love that. That's my new kind of fun thing where I'm helping people discover how to feel good. An overall wellness, right? Physical wellness, financial wellness, because there is an element, if you want to share it, there's an affiliate to it. So it's super fun. And then I have my kids' books, which I just want to talk a little bit about because my father passed when he helped me write my first book during COVID, and he passed away. And I since then wrote two more books that my mother and I have been joyfully sharing in schools with book readings, in libraries, and just really inspiring children to believe in themselves, have confidence, um, overcome fears. And it's all through the eyes of my dog. So my
I
dog's
love that.
Rocky. And Rocky is a poodle and she has a lot of fears. She does, and that's where it all came from. Um, but it's just been such a journey of joy for me, to spread that to children. But it also is such a great um, memory of my dad, and really a way to celebrate life now with my mom, because my mom now lives with me, which is so fun. Yeah, she moved in with me, and she's my business partner in my children's book series. So yeah, it's so
So
fun.
great.
Yeah, so there's three books. Don't be afraid was the first one. Don't be afraid, Rocky. It's Rocky's lost on the beach, and characters on the beach teach her how to overcome her fears. A seagull, a starfish, and she just really you know, learns herself how to overcome fears. A crab teaches her how to not be afraid of the dark, right? Let's dig a hole and find my friends in the hole. And then the next one was all about anxiety, because kids in the world, remember, this is like a few years ago, kids in the world were worried about a lot of things, and going back into schools, all the things. So anxiety was a big thing that I wanted to help kids with. So don't worry, Rocky was next. And then Don't Be Bullied came out, because I want kids to stand up for themselves. So Don't Be Bullied is one of my favorites, because a lobster teaches Rocky to stand up for herself. And then a whale comes along and teaches her wisdom that maybe the bully really just doesn't know how to be a friend. Maybe the bully just needs to learn friendship skills. So it's been a really fun adventure, and I'm super thrilled about it. So I just wanted to share those, and talk about how sometimes the little things in life can change your whole perspective, right? Um,
Yes.
yeah, so
Oh, they're so great. I love them. And the illustrations are beautiful. I love that it's a whole family affair. It's so good.
she's my joy. My niece Lindsay is my joy, and she sees the world in total goodness. Everything about her is sunshine and flowers and roses and rainbows and everything.
We'll tell her to become a life coach.
Yes.
That's what everyone's looking for.
Yes, she is mine for sure. So it was also great because we could spend a lot of time together bringing these books to life. So it's been fun.
Oh, that's so great. How fun. Well, I'm so excited about all the irons in the fire you have going. It's really, really wonderful.
I appreciate you, Wendy. I do. I appreciate everything. And I'm so grateful to know you, to share this time with you. It's been such a great time. And I look forward to following you in the future, and hopefully maybe come to France with you.
Please come to France with me. And please do not refer to it as a bucket list item. When people say that, I think, oh my gosh, no, we're doing it all the time. We're normalizing
Hmm.
dreamy, fabulous experiences. I go on every single one of my trips. So anyone can go on all of them too. Someone can go on five of them. Like, it doesn't matter. We get to do everything that we want to do.
Yes, no regrets. Live
It's a
without regrets,
decision.
for sure. A decision to have fun, right?
Yes. And to trust yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so good. It's so
And
good. Okay.
surround yourself with people who are filled with joy. There's nothing better than that energy, that really it's explosive when you're engaging with people that just want to live life to the fullest.
Absolutely. Okay. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, how they can get their hands on your books and be involved in all the beautiful things that you're up to.
So, of course, I have a website. It's called deirdrepalmadams.com. So that houses all of my projects and all of my things that I would love to support people in. And I also have Instagram and Facebook. For children's books, it's Deirdre Palm Adams author. So that's really the children's book. So, and if you want, your kids can actually go to theadventuresofrocky.com. That'll take them right to the page on my website for Rocky.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we'll link everything down in the show notes. But thank you so much for your time, Deirdre. This has been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.